Are you ready? Let's get going here. First thing I wanted to show you was in the directions here. On the first part here is going to go over and show you, different things that you may need. So I suggest you read over that, some cautions and all the normal stuff. What I really like though is when you open it up, it shows you here all your different parts that you're going to be using, as well as a one-to-one scheme here so that you can lay your parts down on top and measure them to make sure that you are actually using the right pieces to build your kit with. And the other nice thing that they did is as you are building, they allow you to keep this open as you flip the pages. Very, very interesting. I like that. I haven't seen that before, but it's been a long time since I've built a kit. So let's get going here. The first thing right here is the front top plate and steering build, which is bag one, step one. So we've gone ahead and opened up everything out of bag one. And you're always going to want to make sure that you empty your bags before you throw them away. Many a time I have dug through the trash can, and what can you say? So we're going to take a look and see the first part here. We're going to get out the steering rack, which is part 91391. And if you'll notice on the directions here, there is a top and a bottom to it. The top portion here is shorter than the bottom portion here. Let's see if we can get this into a little bit of focus here and you'll be able to see what I'm talking about. You'll see that the bottom here is taller than the top part. So we're going to want to make sure that that is always proportioned in the right direction. Get focused here. Come on. Focus. Ooh, nothing like needing a new pair of glasses, huh? There we go. Okay, I might have to turn that autofocus off. So, ball studs. Let's go ahead and start with the two ball studs here. They're a 6 millimeter ball stud, and in bag one, they are the only ball studs. And to install them, it looks like we need a, pull my chair up here. Looks like we need a 2 millimeter hex. So I'm going to grab that, and I am correct. We're going to use our electric drill, and we're going to set the clutch to very light. Let's just set it on a 2. You don't want to over tighten these when you're using a electric drill. Ah, perfect. So we're going to go ahead and get the ball studs in there. It has been, like I said, I think 6 years since I've done my last video, so I'm a bit rusty on building on camera here. Okay, so we have those in. They're nice and flush in. Just for the heck of it, whenever I'm using a electric, I like to finish up with a hand wrench just to make sure that they're actually in there and then they're tight. You don't want to over tighten them. Okay, next it looks like we have the bearings and crush tubes. So the bearings that come with this kit, we're going to use 4 of the 373s, which are right here. And if you'll notice, these are a open shielded bearing. Now, the shielded bearings do offer a tad bit less rolling resistance. However, they do let debris and dirt and stuff from the track into the bearing. So we really do prefer a rubber sealed bearing. And on this build, we are using the ceramic sealed bearing kits. And like I said before, we also have a standard. If you're going to be very serious about your racing and want to be competitive, everybody is using our ceramic bearings. So let's go ahead and take 4 of these out. You can buy your bearings at FastEddyBearings.com. You can buy them at AMain. You can buy them at RPP. Your local hobby shop. We are available now through distribution worldwide. So if your favorite hobby shop doesn't have them, ask for them, or you can always just order them direct. Okay, so the next thing that you're going to see on here are what they call crush tubes. And very interesting. A crush tube, if we lay this on top of the bearing, you're going to see that it covers the, let's see if we can get this up here without dropping it. Come on. You'll see that it covers the inside race, but not the outside race. So that means that we can stack two bearings on top of each other and it will not hinder the rotation. So that's what a crush tube is for. We're going to put the bearings in first. We'll start with the bottom ones. We're just going to press them in, and we do want to make sure that they are flush. We'll get those pushed in. Just use your thumb. If you have to push on the bearings, you can, this is a flat one, you can just, if they're not going in properly, you can go ahead and just press them in on the table. So next we're going to put the crush tubes in and then set a bearing on top of the crush tube. And again, this bearing is going to go in, it looks like it is going in flush. Yes, it is going in flush. And if you take a look through the hole, you can see that that crush tube is centered. And a way that you can make sure of that is to stick something through there and make sure that it is actually allowing it to pass through. I'm going to go ahead and insert the second crush tube. Make sure it's laying flat and put the bearing in on top of that one. That one doesn't want to go in, so we're going to have to press her down. Okay. As I'm taking a look here, I can see that that crush tube is sitting a little bit sideways in there. There we go. Having a little trouble getting that one pushed in. Let's see what we can find here. That one is too big. This one I think is going to be too small. No, that one fits right on. What I'm finding is something to put around the outer edge of that bearing so that we don't hurt the bearing while we push it in. There we go. And it seems to be that that crush tube is getting in the way. It is. Ha! So, let's skin this horse a different way. We're going to put this one in first, which now pushes all the way in very easily. The crush tube is still in there. Now we'll put this bearing in. Let's see if we still, there we go. Now they are both flush. That was a little difficult there. And again, we're going to make sure that everything is the way it should be. The crush tubes are in there, and the bearings are operating properly. Okay, that was harder than it should have been. Woohoo! Okay, now what? We are going to take the factory bearings and move them out of the way and actually throw them in the garbage. No matter which set of the FastEddy bearings that you get, they are a very good upgrade from the factory. Okay, so now we have this done. We're going to make sure we position that properly. And now we are going to dig out our two wiper arms. And we have one wiper arm here and another one here. And we need one more ball stud. There we go. So let's take a look here. The bell crank brace, there are two of them, and we need to take a look here. This one right here, you're going to see it bends this way. And this unit here, we have to decide which way that this is going to go. And I believe that it is going to go on like this. It's hard to say. I'm just kind of looking at this little portion here. Looks like it matches up with that and that it curves in this way. So I think we're good there. And we have our ball stud. Let's go ahead and put our ball stud into the top of this one. I'm going to crank that up just a little bit more. And we will hand tighten it. And now we need two of the M3 by 12 button heads. And when we take a look here in our dish, we have two 12mm button heads. There we go. And the way that we know that they are 12mm. And again, for the new people that don't know a lot of this, we can take a look at button head. Whoops, this one is a 22mm. And we need the 12s, so good thing we checked, right? So we're going to go to the 3 by 12s, match that up, and see that that is the one that we're going to be using. Woo, what do we got going on with the camera there? Very interesting. Like I said, this is a new setup, and we're running into a glitch here. My goodness. Okay, we will be right back. Well, I'm not really sure what all that was about. I think it might have been a plug. So let's switch back over to the overhead and see if it goes away. Hey, I think we're okay. Let's see if our gremlins come back. Like I said, this is a brand new studio for me, so we'll see what happens here. Okay, so we have the ball stud in, and we found our two M3 by 12s, and those go up through the bottom. And we'll start with this one and screw this one in. That's what it looks like we're doing here. There we go. Okay, you know what? I put that one in backwards. Let's try that again. Go ahead and take it out. Turn it around. Put her back in. There we go. Okay, so this is, did I screw up again? Here we go. Okay, so wow, it has been a while. Let's try this one more time. Like I said, this is going to be fun. What I am doing here is going through the bottom like I'm supposed to. And these go in from the back side. There we go. That's what I was doing wrong. I was trying to put it in from the front side. Okay. Did I get that right this time? Take a look at the directions. This is curving this way. This is the front. We have the large taller portion facing down. So we are on a roll. Hey. So let's get this next one in. And again, we're going to go from the bottom. We're going to make sure this is positioned properly, which it looks like it is. And we're going to come in from this direction and get a rocking and a rolling. There we go. Okay, we want to make sure every time we put something in, we need to test it and make sure that it actually moves freely. There we go. Wow, look at that. We got the first part done. We're on a roll now. Woohoo! So let's take a look here. And for the next thing we need to do here is bag 1, step 2. And it looks like we need 4 more of the bearings. So we're going to get 4 more of the 373 bearings, which are the smallest ones in the kit. We'll get out 4 more of those, which is all that there are. So all the little ones are gone. Okay, so let's take a look here and install. Looks like one goes here inside of this arm, presses right in. And we're going to put one more in the bottom one, presses right in. And we're going to do the same for the larger, longer arm. There we go. Look at that. We're on a roll here. Now, we need to tie these 2 arms together with this little brace right here. It is a bell crank brace. Let's focus in here. Come on. I'm going to have to work on this overhead camera. There we go. And we need the 2 M3 by 22s button heads, which were the ones that we grabbed by mistake the first time. And these are going to go up. Let's see here. This part has a top and a bottom. If you take a look at the directions and at the part here, it is flat on the bottom, and there's a teeny tiny little ridge here on the top. I'll get that back into the camera. Teeny tiny little ridge, then it's flat on the bottom. So we're going to stick this from the bottom. We'll put both of those up through like that, and we will come up. Let's take this piece and flip it over, and these fit right up in there like so. That ties the steering together. Okay, and now we are going to grab the chassis brace, which is here. And as you can see, this is the way that it sets. And we need to screw these 2 screws into these 2 holes here, it looks like, from the directions. But that, for some reason, doesn't look right. Okay, because it wasn't. Okay, we're going to turn this around, and those are going to screw into basically right here underneath. So we're going to set this down on top like this. Go ahead and screw them in. There's one. I'm going to come in and align this one. And screw it in. There we go. Okay. Looks like everything's there and moving freely. I didn't like the way that that clutch went off, so let me just double check here. We're going to tighten those up just a little bit. That clutch went off a little soon, but I didn't want to strip anything out, so we'll do this by hand. Okay, tighten them up a little bit too much because it's not moving freely. I'm going to back these off about a half a turn. There we go. They're moving freely now. And we just want to make sure that there's no up and down movement in here. If there is, you can tighten these up a quarter turn. But you want to tighten them up and then back them off just enough so that everything moves freely. There we go. Look at that. Now, we are going to go to our step number 3. And it looks like we are going to use 2 of the M3 by 10s. And these are a flathead screw. The flathead is a bevel. Some people call it a bevel screw. You can see the bevel on there. And these are there should be 2 left. There are 10s and 16s. So these are the shorter ones, which are 10s. And we can, if we want to, match them up. There we go. They are 10 millimeter. So let's go ahead and grab our chassis. Where did I do with my chassis? Here it is. And we are going to set this down along with the chassis block, the bulkhead. And the bulkhead has a bottom and a top and a front and a back. The front has 2 screw holes in it, and the bottom has a relief in there. So we are going to set that relief down, and it fits right over the chassis here. It sets in there. And we will take the rest of the steering widgetalia, and this is going to set on top. You can see that there are 2 screw holes there with actually cones on them, and then you can see the inverse of the cones here. It's going to sit right on top, and it should line up in the front with the bulkhead. Just like so. And we're going to use the 2 shorter screws, which are the 10 millimeter. And go ahead and cinch this down. And we'll do the same on the second one. And again, that clutch is firing off a little too soon. There we go. And there should be 2 more screws, which are shown down here on the bottom, which are the longer ones. And it is showing that those go in the 2 rear holes. So there's 4 holes here, and these are going into the 2 rears. That was a little bit out of whack because I couldn't see the holes lining up, so we'll put it in so that it's straight. And we are done with the steering. Just like so. And now that we're done, we just want to make sure that everything is moving freely. Look at that. I think we did something right here. Okay. We have completed step one, bad one.